We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính Đại Đức Tăng Thịnh, Bi thứ Pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh, Thịnh chuyên diệu Pháp luân giao đạo ngã mùng, như há liêu sanh thoát tư, lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Amidst the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Sananto Sichedo Ye Ulahodi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Già Đà Già A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Thoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma, the 100,000 million aeons, is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian, Wan jie nan zao yu, Wu jin jie wen de shou qi, Yuan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Qingliang, Great Master YongHua, O good monks and nuns and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo, 诸佛菩萨、精良大师、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thánh Lương Đại sư Thiện Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 23rd of March 2025. We're here at DTT to discuss the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Thank you for joining us. We are in the verse section of this of the sutra, chapter 1, where it talks about world rulers. First exposure for us to see that the world is very orderly. The world rulers, these are beings that rule over the worlds, as the name implies, meaning that they are a lot bigger than presidents, they're a lot bigger than emperors. They rule over a world. A world is like a galaxy, and they rule over, the galaxy has its many these planets and so forth, and many heavens, and then these world rulers actually control all those areas. But the world rulers are also divided into, here we're learning that the heavens above us, there are actually different levels of heavens, and these heavens each have the world ruler. Each level has a world ruler, if you will. So it's kind of humongous reality of life right there. The cosmos is tremendously huge, enormous, that is very hard for us to fathom. And that's why we should be more humble and more open-minded, because it's a lot more than our scientists and our philosophers will ever be able to conjure up. And the Avatamsaka Sutra is a sutra that the Buddha spoke. The sutra he spoke first for the most important beings among his disciples, the Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas, because they're enlightened, and the Buddha wanted to make sure that these beings need to open their minds further. Believe it or not, Bodhisattva's mind can also be very narrow, very limited as well. So Buddha's, the one of the first objectives of this sutra is to open our minds. The world is a lot bigger than you can ever imagine. That's point number one. Point number two is that there are all sorts of living beings up there in the heavens. There are this being called the Gandharvas, which are part of the Eightfold Divisions, meaning that all the Buddhist practitioners, especially temples like this, are protected by the Eightfold Divisions, meaning these are spiritual beings. What are these Eightfold Divisions? They are what? Dragons. You heard of dragons in Asian cultures. That's one of the Eightfold Divisions. Gandharva, or musical spirits, are one of those divisions. And then ghosts and spirits and so forth. And gods and so on. Okay, pythons or maharagas and so forth. They are actually mahasattvas choosing to become spirits and animals like dragons or the golden pungbirds and so forth. It's their vows to devote their lives to helping others cultivate. Okay, so meaning what? Meaning that they are actually stronger than the people they are protecting. Otherwise, they can't protect them. Does it make sense? Okay, so we, when we hear about Eightfold Division, we ourselves are reminded we are a lot weaker, a lot more needy than we like to admit. We're aware. Because without the Eightfold Divisions, it's virtually impossible for us to practice safely. Very much like without the police, without National Guard, without the armed forces, there's no way we can be here. We'll be invaded by Russia and China and so forth, or Mexico and Canada and so forth, and vice versa. When we are stronger, then we can invade other countries. Ban them out. We're coming. Okay, so, and point number three, this Gandharvas are musical spirits. They are professional musicians. Their jobs are primarily the day jobs are to entertain the Christian God. Okay, that we call him Chakra or Indra. The Catholics know him as God. Muslims and so forth, and the Jews and so forth, they know him as God, but actually he's a heavenly king of the second desire heaven, one of those. And then he has a lot of heavenly blessings. His life is very pleasant. Have great food, great spirits, they eat wine, and great wives. Okay, and contrary to the Buddhists know more than the actually Catholics. It's kind of a funny point. Catholics say that the gods have only one wife. Actually, he has one wife, but many small wives. Okay, and so he has a lot of heavenly blessings. That's why there's a group of professional musicians, heavenly musicians called Gandharvas, who are spirits who specialize in producing sublime heavenly music. That's why they're much better than our music, by the way, far better. And And last week we talked about how these the kind of music they produce actually special kind of music, unlike our music down here, like rap music. There's so much anger there, so much icky stuff. Whereas Gandharva musicians, they produce very, very wonderful, wonderful music. Okay, so that tells you that these Gandharva kings actually are Mahasattvas, are high-level bodhisattvas who choose to go re-engage in an area and help beings that they are interested in helping. They have strong connection with them. What is the commonality with these Mahasattvas, with the Gandharvas? What? Few things. One thing is that they love music. Anyone? Okay. For example, in our small community, in the future, Jesse, who is into music, and Andreas also in music, maybe in the future we see them as Gandharvas and protecting the way places. Huh? How about that, huh? Andreas, is he there today? No? Okay. And of course, we also have asuras who are like fighters. Okay. Hey, Brady, interested in becoming asuras? G.I. Joe? So these are the beings who love to get into a fight. No? Not anymore? You're a lover now? No more fighter? There you go. Okay, so, funny, you get older and you become a lover. When you're younger, you're a fighter. Okay, so these Gandharva kings actually, as I said, they are bodhisattvas, very high level bodhisattvas. So the interest was to stimulate the creation of music, encourage the creation of music. So that tells you, is point number 2, they are interested in the creative aspects of life. Okay? Folks, after you become enlightened, you will realize, as you get higher and higher level enlightenment, you realize, you wake up to the fact that life is so wonderful, so beautiful. Okay? So that's why they find ways to share that with us. And the Gandharva kings share with us in the form of encouraging creativity. That's why my point is that all those people in the creative industry, AI, music, Hollywood, and so forth, should hire bodhisattvas. Sure formula for success. Surefire success, let me tell you. Okay? If I see someone who's enlightened, and I would hire her right away. Okay? If he's enlightened, we send him to the frontier to conquer more territories. Never mind. Got that? Okay. So keep an open mind. This sutra is fascinating because the more you delve into it, the more you see how wonderful the universe is, and cultivation is. Okay. All right. This section here on slide 37 is the beginning section of the verse. First of all, the structure of this chapter 1 is first to introduce the 10 representative heavenly kings, and then after that, it's followed by the verses uttered by these representative heavenly kings with the help of the Buddhas. So this speaking on behalf of the Buddha. Do you see? It's where the Catholics call it empowerment and so forth, because when I first started, I saw a lot of guys who tried to convert me to Catholicism. I don't know what happened to them anymore. And they would sign name and say, empowered by Jesus or something like that. I was so impressed. I said, wow, Buddha never empowered me. Okay? But these people are empowered by the gods and by Jesus, Son of God. Anyway. So in the Avatamsaka Sutra, these verses, even though they're uttered by these Mahasattvas, they actually are really receive a lot of help from the Bodhisattvas, which is a reminder, a very important point. A lot of things we do, the Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas are able to do. Okay, the miracles they pull off, they actually quite often receive assistance from the Buddhas. Only idiots, humans, would think that they are able to do everything and know everything. Okay? The more you practice, the more you have wisdom, the more you realize that you get so much help from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Because this is a network of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in every twist and turn to help us. Help us do what? Become rich. What else? No? Famous? Fame and profit? No. If your heart is about helping others, okay, then those people can always count on the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be in their corners and invisibly and quietly helping them. Okay? Got that? Okay. Any questions and comments? Wow, 25 minutes as recap. All right? Let's go jump into the verses themselves. This is a verse. These verses are uttered by the first Gandharva king. Okay, his name is something like governing nations or whatever. Okay, the innumerable doors of the realm of all Buddhas are ones that sentient beings have not yet been able to enter.
诸佛境界无量门，一切众生莫能入。
Pure nature, the well-gone one resembles space. Everywhere he reveals the proper path for those in the world.
善事如空，性清净，普为世间开正道。
Okay. All right. Slide 39. The innumerable doors of the realm of all Buddhas. Okay. Here's the point. In order to reach the state of Buddhahood, and we all can. It's not reserved for any particular class of living beings only. No. The state of Buddhahood, this achievement, is totally attainable to all of us. So don't sell yourself short, okay? You should not allow others to limit you, because your potential is that of a Buddha, which is limitless. It's the reason you're not a Buddha is because you don't believe that you are able, that you're worthy of it. That's what happens, okay? That's what your wives do to you. Just kidding. Okay? So because that way you cannot leave them. You need them. Right, Jung? This guy's sleepy. Okay? And that's why you have to be careful. Yeah. And now Jumi's here, we can talk. We have to be more cautious about how we talk about wives. Anyway, okay. So we will become Buddhas. Buddha said so. I didn't say so. It's the Buddha who said so. If you're able to listen to this, whether it's now or on YouTube or wherever medium you're going to find, shorts or whatever, okay, you listen to this, you will become a Buddha. For you, honey, it takes a little bit longer. But you will, I promise. I don't want you to get a big head. The less arrogant you are, the quicker you become a Buddha. That's the difference, folks. Don't make that mistake. People require more time than others because they are more full of themselves, seeking fame and profit. And that applies to all of us, by the way. At some point in time, we get caught in that and now begin to seek fame, we seek profit. It's because we lose track of the fact of who we really are. In your heart lies a heart of a Buddha. Okay? So that's Buddhas. So that's why Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to our world repeatedly. They came in the past, they're here right now. In the future, more and more will come. Why? To show us doors, Dharma doors, to how to become a Buddha. Okay? Because each generation, the requirements are different. Okay, each ethnicity have different affinities with different Dharma doors. Okay, for example, you are Vietnam, center of the world, then the Dharma door is more like Phở. Okay, for a class of people like these people who are into sound, they are going to the world of Gandharvas, okay, or go to the heavens, okay, and so forth. So you see, because all these are different ways to what? Open your heart. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to say, that's all I'm capable of. That's all I'm willing to do. That's all that's possible. That's all that makes sense to me. Whatever doesn't make sense to me, okay, then it's not the way. And that's Hinayana thinking. Okay? My teacher taught that part. My teacher taught about, the adherence to what he taught, the fundamentals of Buddhism. But there's also the other side of it, where it says if you talk about day, then there's also night. If you talk about good, there's also evil. Okay? If you get to that level of the Mahasattvas, then it's both good and evil. When you're not there, you should dwell on goodness, on propriety. Okay? But when you get up there, okay, you're free to do whatever it takes to what? Make money. What else is there? Okay, now we understand each other. Okay. So the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas keep coming to our world. As I said, they came, they're here, they will more and more will come in order to teach different pathways. So doors, he refers to Dharma doors. Dharma doors meaning that different dharmas that enable us to help us enter the world of Buddhas. So for example, okay, I'm going to offend a few people today. That's what I do every single weekend. Okay, for example, okay, Tibetan Buddhism, because I've been encountering Tibetan Buddhism this past week, so I'm going to use it as an example. Tibetan Buddhism, you have the Dalai Lama there. Okay, it's very famous. It's very helpful. So that Dharma is called Tibetan Dharma door. Okay, and that works for a lot of people, have a lot of followers, and Dalai Lama is like rock star. Okay? For me, personally, I started by being impressed like everyone else, but as I cultivated more and more Master Srinivasa's Dharma, and you can blame this on him, it's not my fault. Okay? I became less and less enthused about it. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, the past 5 years ago, I came enthused about one Lama, one Tibetan monk, the Karmapa in India, not Karmapa in China, the Karmapa in India. If of all the Lamas I've met, I've heard of, he's the one I like, the only one I like. Okay, why? Because he's not into fame and profit. I love it. Okay, and I know I'm a small-time monk, but if he like to visit the temples, I love to invite him. He has to pay for his airfare and hotels and everything, but we're poor. Make no mistakes about it. Okay? But it's fun. It'll be fun for him. To find another group of practitioners who can't care less about fame and profit. And that's what I like about this guy, this Lama here. Very, very special monk in my books. Okay? It's refreshing to see that he dares go against the current, and because it's good for Tibetan Buddhism. Make this video and send it to him, Han Zhong. Yes, you too. It's just a personal opinion, okay? I don't know anything. I just have a big mouth.
Thank you, Master. We have a question here from Tui.
Tui, yeah.
Emitofuo, Master, there are some times when I feel very confident that I will become a Buddha because I already have the Buddha nature. But then I worry that I'm not being humble and that it's my ego that's talking. How do I know that it's confidence where I can believe in becoming a Buddha someday versus I'm just being arrogant?
Wow, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Help. How do you know it's arrogance or confidence? It's such a good question. Just talk, that's what I think.
I don't know. Arrogance?
Okay, next. Help. How do you know you're arrogant and not confidence?
I don't know too. Sorry, Master.
Peter. How do you know? Anyone knows? How can you tell that it's arrogance and it's not arrogance, but actually it's confidence? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. I don't think it's important to distinguish and use your thinking mind that much. I think what's important is to have faith in yourself. And if you have the passion to think you're going to be a Buddha, go with it.
That's answering without answering. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, Wei Mao. You have to be direct, folks. He's not wrong. But that's, if you teach the Dharma, people say, is it black or white? You have to say, it's black or white, or number 3 is, none of your business. But you cannot beat around the bush. Okay, guys? You can do it in industry, and you just talk and talk, and you don't say anything. Hopefully no one will notice. But when Dharma, you have to go head on, okay? That's our style. Yes, next. How do you know?
So, hi, Master. I think if you really enlightened, then you don't really have that question. You just know. So if you still have that question, if you still have doubt by yourself, then maybe it's not there yet.
That's a good point there. Anyone agrees or disagrees? It's very good. Okay? How does the thought arise? We've been teaching you for 20 years now, the 5 skandhas. Yeah? What are the 5 skandhas? We're getting very technical because this is a very good question. Something that people tend to overlook, okay? But I want to help you, demonstrate to you how to answer questions using the Buddhist principles. Not just, I think, I believe, okay? That's not scientific enough. What are the 5 skandhas? No one knows? Yes, Joe. 4.
Is it form, feelings, thoughts, or states of mind, consciousness?
Very good. Excellent. Give him a candy. Okay, excellent. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, the thought arises naturally, and that's like a feeling skandha.
Okay, feeling for what? For you. What would you feel for?
Not for me, but the question was from Tui.
For you.
I feel like I'm gonna be a Buddha.
No. Your problem, my friend, is you have no feeling for mom. Correct?
Yes.
You're enlightened already. You have no more feeling for mommy.
Great.
He doesn't like his mom, by the way. I never heard of a man who does not like his mom. It's the first time in my life.
South Carolina.
Okay, very good. Okay, you guys have, you hit it out of the park. Okay, excellent. The 5 skandhas are the technical terms, the Buddhist jargon for describing to you the nature of your ego, the 5 aspects of your ego. If you have an ego, okay, well, how does it manifest? Manifest as a form, okay? You're attached to form. Is that clear? Okay? We like forms. Look at the shapes of the cars, okay, that you like. Okay? So we very attached to forms. That's why that's how architects make a living, creating forms. structures with beautiful forms, art, and so forth. So, because they appeal to our ego, they're pleasing to us. Okay? So that's why in the morning, we take care of our hair to make ourselves more pleasing to others. Okay? Okay? That's the manifestation of the ego right there. Egos are very attached to forms. Okay? Number 2, how else can does the ego manifest? The ego manifests itself as feelings. We're seeking what? For most of us, pleasant feelings. Some of us, unpleasant feelings. Ooh, hurt me. Hurt me. They think Chung will do that. Chung, hurt me. Okay? So, but the point being that you can joke all you want, but the point number 2, nature of your ego is that we're seeking, most of us seek pleasant feelings. Okay? How? Oh, nice. I like. Narcissa. Okay? Narcissa will look into her reflection in the mirror and say, oh, what a beautiful creature. Okay? It's not, so the form seeking here, okay, you're seeking a nice looking form, also looking into that form creates this pleasant feeling, the wells of insight. That's the nature of the ego. Okay? Number 3, how does the ego manifest itself? I will stop at 3. I don't want to go too far because I have a lecture to do. Okay? Thinking. We like to think. You pay universities to teach you how to think. I believe in the future, in my Buddha land, I will pay you not to think. You don't have to pay me to learn how to think. I pay you not to think. I'm kidding. Okay? So what happened is that, I like Rodin. Like Rodin. You ever seen that statue Rodin here at the Legion of Honor? You haven't been there yet? You haven't? Not you? Oh my God, you have no culture whatsoever. You're peasants. Yeah. Huh? You walk into that Legion of Honor? You don't know? You been there? But you don't remember the Rodin statue? That doesn't count. You need to be 40 at least. Okay? So you walk into that courtyard of the Rodin, of the Legion of Honor there, that beautiful, beautiful museum that has a humongous Rodin statue. I think his reproduction is not the real one. Is it? One of the real ones? Is that for real? Wow. Because it's all like in our world, it's made of small pieces. Like our sash used to be made of small pieces of fabric, and they sew it together. Okay. Now we're rich, so we don't do that anymore. Okay. Buddha's time, they're very poor. And so you go into that thing there, and you see the statue, this guy, humongous thing, twice as big as Shaquille O'Neal. You don't do basketball, huh? Anyway, so you sit there and say, and the whole world is enamored with it. But we Buddhists walk by and say, okay, because it's called le penseur, the thinker. The thinker. Okay? Meaning what? People admire the fact he's thinking. But Rodin is confused. Actually, he should have named it. What? Should change the title to? No. Worse than that. Worse than that. I'm telling you this, Ray, because I want you to bring your family there. And you tell me if you disagree with my new name for that statue. Okay? I would call it Mr. Depression. He's so, look at his face, it's muscular, it's all muscles facing, and it frowns, and he's so unhappy. It's not thinking, it's unhappiness, it's depression. Agree, disagree? Yeah? Okay. How do we get there again? Okay, so the third way that your ego manifests is it likes to think. Dissecting things, analyzing things, projecting, thinking. And that's how your ego functions. So going back to the question, when I think I'm confident, or am I confident, or am I arrogant? Okay, what do you think is the answer? Why arrogance? Because he's thinking about either arrogance or confidence. As somebody said answered earlier, if you can know without even thinking. Okay? When you have to think, then you have an ego. That's arrogance. If there's an ego, there's arrogance. People don't believe. People say, I'm so humble, I'm so humble. You don't understand me. I'm so humble. I'm not like that. And they start everything, I. Yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. We have some comments in regards to this. Din Tai says, a person who has confidence is not trying to impress people, while arrogant people are always trying to prove themselves right or somebody else wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Nacho says, confidence is when you believe you can do better than yourself, while arrogance is that you think you are already better than others.
No. Confidence is when a girl rejects you and you believe she's wrong. She's so wrong. That's confidence. Okay, next.
We have a question here from Diego Alfonso. Emitofuo, Master, can I request that you please explain the remaining skandhas for the sake of the assembly and for the YouTube shorts and glimpses, please? Emitofuo, Master.
You request what?
Could you please explain the remaining skandhas that you started explaining just a bit ago for the sake of the assembly and for us to have as a YouTube short, if you don't mind?
Okay, skandha number 4. Activities, meaning that things that the mental activities that it's a bit lower level than thinking. Okay? For example, your autonomous system, your digestion, your breathing, okay, is based on very low level mental activities. Okay. Number 5 is consciousness. Consciousness is the awareness. Consciousness is even a low level activity, but still is part of your awareness of your thinking activity. Thinking is the coarsest form. And then activity is lower, and then consciousness is the lower form of thinking. But we call it consciousness because it's slightly different from thinking. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay. So going back to slide 39. So as I said, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to our world, and they devise different methods, different ways. Jargon is called Dharma doors for us to enter the state of the Buddhas. What is the state of the Buddhas? The realms of Buddhas, the realms of enlightenment. There are countless ways for you to become enlightened. Not just one, not just Tibetan, not just Chinese, not American, not Vietnam. It's countless ways. Okay? And therefore, it's wrong to call it American Buddhism or Chinese Buddhism, Vietnam Buddhism, because that puts limitations on the Dharma doors. They are supposed to be innumerable. Okay? And ones the sentient beings have not yet been able to enter. Okay? So there are many, many ways, okay, that you can choose to use. That like that door there, you walk through that door to go to different realms. So the nice thing about Dharma doors is that it gives us access to a very special club, if you will, a different world altogether. It's like if you're able to travel up in space, up to the heavens area, then it's an entirely different world. Okay, it's much nicer than down here, for sure. Okay, and so just imagine that if you able to go to the heavens, like pay visit to the Christian God, Catholic God there, it's very nice up there. You want clothes, okay? At the thought of wanting nice clothes, they come right away without having to wait for Amazon delivery. Okay? And so clothing, food, they come as your heart desires in the heavens of the Christian God. That's why they mistakenly think they're omnipotent and so forth. Okay? Only those, they don't realize those are simply heavenly blessings. We don't have heavenly blessings, that's why down here we have human blessings which require us to work. Okay. And then it becomes money. Money is, then we call it blessings. But actually money is just money. Blessings up there are blessings. They're nice. All right? And so they are you're able to use these different methodologies, different means of access to go into an entirely different world, a much more wonderful world that you are entitled to. By the way, it does not require you to be the richest man in the world, like you need to have a certain credit card to give you access, okay, in those airport lounges. I've been to one. For some reason, they gave me one free pass, and I walked in there, I walked out. Why? Because they wouldn't let my companion go in. I didn't want to make her wait, but I said, you wait here in front of the door for me, I go in and take a look, because then I can come back and brag to my disciples, I've been to a nice airport lounge. and they have sandwiches, they have pasta and so forth. Whoopee. Okay? It's just a small restaurant. Okay? Self-serve. Nothing fancy. Unless, because I have cheap, maybe someone gives me a more fancy club access. Okay. So it says here, sentient being, meaning us, living beings, have not yet been able to enter. Meaning what? The point being that you will. You are not able to enter yet, but it also implies in the future you will. You see, it's very positive. The verses are very, very positive. Okay? Next. Pure nature, the well-gone one, resembles space. Okay. Well-gone one is one of the 10 titles of the Buddha. Okay? And what are the 10 titles? There are 10 of them. Actually, Buddha said many, many titles. Why? That many titles because the Buddhas in the past have practiced and accomplished many, many different things. That's why he's known, okay, as by those titles. The titles represent the achievements that he made, he accomplished in the past, he excelled at doing, and that's why people recognize it and call him, like Richard, the Lion King, a lion-hearted king of England, because he's brave, he's fearless, and so forth. He became a king and became known as the Lion King. Wait, it sounds like a Disney movie. Okay, but anyway, yes, you too.
Thank you, Master. Samson Lau has a question.
Yes.
Emitofuo, Master, when the astronauts go into space, do they technically enter into the heavens? If so, would they experience any of the heavenly bliss?
Well, depends on how the space they got so far is still pretty low. Okay, so it's not really the realms of the heavens yet. Okay, that we're talking about here, the heaven of the second desire heaven, a little bit higher up there, and even though you can get up there, okay, which is you still have to wait for that eventuality, but eventually we'll be able to do that. You get up there, guess what's going to happen? What will you see? What will you see? God coming to you, say, "Hi, I've been waiting for you." You think? Yeah? Something to look forward to? Yeah? No? Nothing. You can't see anything because you need a special frequency before you can see God. Got that? Heavenly beings are visible at a different frequency. That's why our regular eyes cannot see it. You need to use different eyes before you can see them. Okay, anyone else? God, you ask about all sorts of strange questions. Okay, so one of the 10 titles is well-gone one, as opposed to thus come one. You heard of that word, right? Thus come one, Ru Lai is Chinese, is thus come one. Well gone one is 善士. So as opposed to well gone one. Okay, and I looked up the meaning. Actually, my Chinese teacher never really explained it in the translation of his work or in the Chinese things, Chinese explanations. I had to look up from a dictionary. He explains that the meaning of these two different titles of the Buddha. Thus come one is, it means that you come according to the truth. Well, the path of the truth. You come to reveal the path of the truth. Okay? This is ultimate truth that the Buddha came. Thus come one says, he came to show us the ultimate reality, our ultimate reality. That's why it's thus come one. You are thus, I am thus, she is thus. Because that's the ultimate truth. Okay? So far so good. Number 2, well gone one as opposed to thus come one. Now you have a well gone one, which is the opposite. The one that is gone very well. What's gone very well? To me. What is gone very well?
제가 조계종에서 배웠던 열의 시포에서 선서라는 거는 그런 중생들이 살고 있는 미혹의 세계에서 피안의 세계로 잘 건너갔다.
Wrong. Okay. Okay, JMT, what's well gone one? Anyone at JMT, explain to me, when does it mean when Jumi is well gone one? So Korean. JC, what does it mean when we call Jumi the well gone one? What does it mean to you? These Koreans, I can't stand Koreans. Okay, anyone, Wei Mount, what does it mean when it's well gone one? Jumi is well gone one in Korea. Wei Mount, go ahead.
Master, does it mean that they skillfully come to the Saha world?
No. Anyone else? What's well gone one? Yes, Jung. 4.
Does it mean one who has gone on the right path? The way?
No! This is so obvious. God. I give you all tons of clues and you guys are like so slow. I can't take this. What does well gone one means? I gave you a clue already. Korea and Jumi is a well gone one. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Dạ, thưa thầy, con nghĩ thiện thệ là người hiểu tất cả pháp thầy.
No, Jesus, I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. You want the answer now? Don't give me any more silly answers. If you asked JMT, okay, ask about Jumi. They says Jumi is a well gone one. What does it mean, well gone one? Don't come back. Gone, very good, she's gone. Right. Way mountain.
Is it someone who goes where the Dharma is?
No! Well-gone one is he's never coming back. JMT. Yes, XE.
윤회에서 벗어났다는 뜻인 것 같습니다.
Translation, quickly.
Means he's away from reincarnation.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, the reason my inspiration for that answer is that when she told me, she called home and she asked her husband, shall I come back this month? Okay, in March. Husband says, no. I said, a well-gone one. Okay, we're having too much fun with our Dharma lectures. This is not serious business. Yes, Wei Mao.
Oh, sorry, Master, I couldn't possibly follow that.
Okay, and so that's why I was surprised. I mean, Jumi is so innocent. He said, "Okay, I stay here." She wasn't offended at all. The husband said, "No, stay there, stay." Now I'm going to get in trouble with the husband. But you know, I treat her wife very well. Every single lecture, she asks only 3 questions. All right, where are we? Well-gone one means that the Buddha, after he dies, he never has to come back here again. Meaning what? I'd be offended. This girl enjoys it too much. Okay, and so well-gone one means the Buddha, when he leaves our world, he never has to come back, meaning what? He'll never go into the wheel reincarnation again. And that's mean to be well-gone. You're free. You're never coming back. Okay? Because what happens to us, the rest of us, we die and we have to come back. And we die again and we come back again and again and again. And that's why we are very badly gone one. Okay? Everywhere he reveals the proper path of those in the world. So Buddhas, he goes everywhere and he shows everyone how to become a Buddha like him. So far, so good? Okay, next. Next Gandharva king, so verse 4 lines. Each and every pore of the thus come one is filled with an ocean of merit and virtue.
如来一一毛孔中，功德大海皆充满。
Okay, bringing benefit and bliss to all those in the world. King light resembling trees perceives thus.
一切世间显利乐，此树光王所能见。
Okay, very good. Commentary slide. Each and every pore of thus come one, he has a lot of pores. Like Buddhas also has hair. Isn't that cool? You think Buddhas don't have hair? They do. I bet they shave often too. Okay, is sealed in the ocean of merit and virtue. Meaning what? In the body, you look. This is an analogy. Our body has so many hair pores, right? It's difficult to count them. We don't know. We don't even know how many hair pores we have. That's the idea. So it represents uncountable. So the hair pores, each one is filled with an ocean of merit and virtue. Each one. Look at the hair pore, how small we are. I can't even see them. I see 20 right here. Can you zoom in? Okay, so you have all these hair pores that are tiny. They're so tiny, and yet you can feel each hair pore with an ocean of merit and virtue. Isn't that cool? Meaning what? Ocean meaning is countless, innumerable. Merit and virtue are things that the Buddhas did to benefit living beings, benefit others. He did so many of them. Okay? That becomes an ocean, and you take that ocean and fill up stuff into one hair pore. This is a reminder for you small thinkers. I've done enough, I helped you enough, enough. No, it's never enough. The Buddhas, when he helped living beings, he helped and helped and helped and helped and helped. He never stopped. He never felt it's enough. That's the difference between Buddhas and us. All right? And so it's only possible because the Buddha's mind is different from us. He doesn't calculate anymore. We are so calculating. Our minds are so calculating. Buddhas don't calculate. Okay? So how do you not calculate? How do you not calculate? We have so many weirdos, you know. The Vietnam people, when I first started, some would come walk in, Vietnamese men would walk in, and then he would shake the legs like this. He's like so full of himself. You poor monk, stupid monk. You don't know what you're talking about. I rest my case. It's not just one leg, but two legs. And anyway, and so how do you keep on creating merit and virtue? As many as oceans, oceans of oceans of oceans. It's common sense. When I joke, you enjoy it. When I ask you a serious question, you go, oh. Can we go back to the jokes? Jesus. How do you create boundless merit and virtue? How do you teach your Korean disciples to do that? See, I'm asking the question on behalf of the Korean disciples. Korean disciples are very polite. They never ask tough questions, you know. How do you? How can you create boundless merit and virtue? How? Wouldn't you like to know? Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master. Forgive me for this metaphor, but it seems the simplest way I can explain it. You would create a merit and virtue Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi schemes.
Yeah. So the merit and virtue that you create would help others, who helps others, who helps others, who helps others, who helps others, and is multiplying.
No, that's not how I understand Ponzi schemes. This guy, he twists everything. I don't know about you, the Ponzi scheme evokes this image of scamming others. And you don't create merit and virtue by scamming others. Oh my God, this guy is kind of... There's such a thing as black and white, man. You cannot help people by scamming them. My God. Yes.
So what would you describe that mechanism?
But that Ponzi thing?
Yeah, that's the only word my jaded Sicilian heritage had to describe it. I apologize.
Yeah, I call it pyramid.
Right. That's my point.
The Ponzi is after pyramid. Pyramid predated Ponzi. Ponzi is only later, with Maddox and everything. It's a 21st century technology. Okay, pyramid is 19th century.
Yeah. So I don't know what would predate pyramid, but some kind of mechanism.
Some kind of mechanism
allows your merit and virtue to perpetually multiply and multiply and multiply.
Very good. That's the idea. Yeah, but there's a key thing about why it multiplies infinitely. It's very important, folks. This is why we have what is called. Well, I'll explain that later after I give you the formula. You want to give up? How do you have infinite merit and virtue? How? Yes, Ray, I'm challenging you. I want you to use your imagination. You're thinking too small. This is my problem with you. You only think I'm a trillionaire. How much is Elon worth now still? It's nothing. Yes, for.
I was going to say you keep giving and then you perfect giving, including giving away all of your blessings that you've earned.
Giving. Okay, I'll give you some leeway to the Taiwanese. Yes, go first.
I think we just keep sharing and sharing.
Go back to Vietnam. Yes, YouTube.
We have some comments here. Ru Kang says, keep doing good things whenever you can, lifetime after lifetime. And then says, when you enter first dhyana, your pulse stops. And first stage...
And you die. Yeah, okay.
Stop there. Diego says, by doing infinite good deeds.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah, you have all the right concepts. But let me tell you a very simple thing. Okay? That you will have boundless oceans of merit and virtue. Why is that? Because that's what you do. You don't think about it anymore. You're still thinking. You're still thinking, I've done this, isn't that enough? Okay? That's what you're all doing. You are counting your fingers. I've done this for you, I've done that for you, I've done this for you, isn't that enough? Okay? Because you keep on counting, whereas the Buddhas, that's what they do. They open their eyes, they say, oh, I'm going to help someone. And that's what, because there's nothing else besides helping others. That's why it becomes infinite. You don't think anymore. That's what you do naturally. You pre-program to be like that, whereas you are not. Whereas you go to school, you receive training to calculate how much you should be doing. Whereas Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are committed to one thing, is that I want to help and help and help and help. Period. I don't count anymore. If you count, it's finite. You don't count, it becomes Vietnam numbers. I'm kidding. Got that? It's what I'm trying to tell you is your mindset. Your mind is so limited. That's why it's constantly calculating. What's in it for me? Isn't that enough? Huh? That's what you're doing constantly. And that's why you never get to have oceans of merit and virtue. You stop yourself. Because eventually, because you keep on calculating, discriminating, one point, you say, oh, but look, I've done enough, haven't I? I gave you 90% of my fortune. 99% of my fortune, okay, 99. Who's that? Who did that? I think like Bill Gates or Buffet or someone. They said, I give away 80% or half of my fortune, and they brag about it. I say, give 100%, 1,000%. Stop counting. Just give me. Never mind. Got that? You are constantly calculating. That's why you can never understand oceans of merit and virtue. That's what I call. What's up? What do we call this? Huh? What do we men call it? Unconditional love. No, not funny? You don't find funny? Yeah, look at her. Jumi says, you men are so inferior. Yeah. Got that? Okay. So, I better finish. Hurry up and finish. Okay. We gossip too much. Bringing benefit and bliss to all those in the world. Okay? Very important here. It's very specific. You benefit all those. Meaning, you don't simply benefit Americans, benefit only Koreans, benefit only men, benefit only LGBTQ plus. Got that? All in the world, we benefit them all. No discrimination. Okay? And that's why your mind no longer discriminates. If I can help, let me help. Okay? And it's like king resembling trees. He can see that. So the Buddha, what happened? The Buddha, got into his mind, enabled him to see all these things that Buddhas do. Okay? So, as a reminder, a lot of things we do here, monks and nuns and people who are helping others, actually quite often we get help. These things. Like recently, was brought to my attention some sort of layperson guru in the Vietnam world who heals people, and you're not even sick. How can you heal people? That's not possible. When you heal someone, you're going to get sick. Unless you are a Buddha, then you don't get sick. So he's probably a Buddha. That's my conclusion. Not. Okay? It's a scam. Either scam or demon. Okay? There's no such a thing. Because if you do that, it's counter to the law of cause and effect. What's cause and effect? You're sick because you did something bad in the past. That's why you're sick and you're dying because of it. And all of a sudden, you heal. So where's the death going? Who's dying for you? Because the law of cause and effect says that this thing, bad thing happened, now it's manifesting as your death connected to you. If you don't die anymore, who's dying for you? You think it's free? My teacher, my Chinese teacher, he helped heal a lot of people. That's why he died young. That's why we don't heal people. We don't want to die. Got that? It's a scam, a Ponzi scheme, like Peter says. Don't believe it. You guys get scammed too easily. It's counter to cause and effect. How can you get something good happening to you from nothing? How is it possible? It's too good to be true. It's demon things. It's being scammed by demons. Anyway. Hallelujah. Okay, thank you everyone. We stop here today. No comment.